There she is, Princess Cruises. You know her as the original Love Boat. The floating romance novel of cruise lines, sophisticated, classy, and a little less party with a little more premium. But just like a fancy brunch, not everyone's into it. So here is why many people love sailing with Princess, and why a few politely decide to pass. And we'll start with that love. I would say it really begins with the elegant, relaxed atmosphere of Princess Cruise Lines. Princess doesn't scream fun in any way. It more, I guess, whispers it, with classical music in the atrium and croissants that flake like a Hallmark movie plot, for example. For travelers who want relaxation with a touch of refinement, this is probably your cruise line. I always like to say Princess really is more so about making the ocean the star. Everything else is secondary. But it is a very elegant, very upscale atmosphere to get you from port to port and to allow you to really engage, to really enjoy that ocean breeze, that beautiful opportunity to be out in the ocean blue. Next up, themed enrichment programs. Do you want to learn how to make sushi or maybe take a watercolor class while sailing through Alaska? Princess serves up real enrichment activities that make you feel smarter, make you feel cultured, maybe even a bit like you have your life together. I know that in my time of visiting on various Princess ships and taking these itinerary places, they often theme these enrichment programs to the destination. They give you whole-scale histories, complete drill downs on where you're going, what you should know, and what you should take advantage of. In addition to that, they bring on professors, they bring on experts, they bring on people that will help enlighten you to understand where it is we're going and how to make the most of it once we get there. These enrichment programs are one of my favorite things about Princess. I love to learn, and I learn a lot when I'm on board a Princess ship. Next up is the top-tier Alaska and Asia itineraries. Princess is chef's kiss when it comes to Alaska. Their land and sea cruise tours and Glacier Bay access make them a go-to for nature lovers. Truly, nobody does Alaska better than Princess. That is my commitment to the cruising space. I think nobody does Alaska better than Princess. And that is something I even made a separate video over. Princess to Alaska is very special. And they send most of their fleet that direction during the Alaska cruise season 2, just to accommodate all the demand. I think the demand itself shows that people really love cruising Princess to Alaska. Now, Alaska has become a very popular travel destination for many cruise goers, so much so that a lot of cruise lines are getting into the act, and now there's even congestion in some port stops, which kind of takes away from that nature aspect of it. But Princess tends to get the sort of first nod from local officials because Princess has been doing Alaska tours for so long. They are considered to be a cut above the rest of the cruise lines. Not only have I heard that from folks on shore in Alaska, but I've heard that from Princess directly. Also, their Asian itineraries do tend to get pretty serious praise for both depth and immersion. We follow that up with MedallionClass Technology. The Ocean Medallion makes things effortless. From opening your door as you approach to ordering poolside drinks with a tap, it's like cruising in the future, minus maybe some jetpacks, but I'm going to tell you, it is one thing that I think of over and over again when I am on other cruise lines. If they don't have a wearable medallion with a signal that helps me to have a much easier experience like Princess gives me, I often think, why are we living in the Stone Age? Why am I still having this, ridiculous card I got to keep track of? If I can't wear it on my wrist or around my neck, this It's kind of annoying, to have to deal with. I got to insert it into, my door each time. I have to present it every time I need to go get something from a counter, whether that be a drink or maybe an upcharged item to eat. Whereas with Princess, this Ocean Medallion app, not only does it allow you to be seen and recognized by crew members everywhere you go because the signal tells them you're coming, they know exactly who you are, they know exactly what you want, but they can also come find you if they need to. If you want to order something to wherever you are on a ship, the MedallionClass technology allows you to do that. Order it up on your app, they'll come find you. They've done it many times with me. It is a true pleasure, and I'm so glad that Princess has led the way on this technology. I know Virgin Voyages also has a very similar approach in what they use with their own little type of medallion, their own little type of wristlet. I think to follow that up, I would approach the next topic of being quality over quantity when it comes to dining. Princess tends to put a lot of care into its dining experience. It's less about grabbing what's closest and more, let's make dinner an event. Think multi-course meals, craft cocktails in this atmosphere, and specialty dining worth splurging for. Hello to you, The Catch by Rudy. Hello to you, Crown Grill, you specialty restaurants on board that I always tend to go out of my way for because, to date, they have always been worth it. Now, that price keeps going up. I'm noticing that Princess keeps kicking up the price for specialty dining, as are most cruise brands now with specialty offerings. That price tends to go up once a year, sometimes twice a year. Now, it is getting to a point where I don't know if I'm going to indulge that much longer. It is getting to a point where, as good as it is, I might have to pull back a little bit. However, up until now, it has been fantastic, and I think dining overall is a much more elevated experience when you are on a Princess cruise. And finally, the last in my love bucket here would be, I think it's more solo friendly than a lot of people assume. Princess doesn't market itself at all to solo travelers. I don't think I've ever seen them say anything about a solo traveler or somebody coming on board that is solo. We have things for you. They don't really, but the vibe is so welcoming when you are on a Princess ship, especially on longer itineraries. You'll find a lot of community building activities. There is occasionally a solo meetup. I've seen that on the schedule. A lot of people don't go on Princess, but they are there. I have witnessed and encountered several solo travelers. Usually much older people tend to travel on Princess, and they will travel alone. Some people who no longer have a significant other, maybe they've passed, or sometimes their significant other doesn't want to go. They're still alive, but they don't like to cruise. I've heard that too. And so they decide to go and enjoy an adventure on different Princess cruise ships themselves. It is a calm atmosphere. I think that's great for solo relaxation. It's one of the reasons why I love Princess so much. It's very peaceful, very quiet, very much an environment where I can kick back and really focus on me for a while. Plus, I do find, and I say this a lot, people don't believe me on this one, and I'm not sure why, but I've found over and over again that if you do their cruise deals that are like the short-term cruise deals, like if you go to their website and you take a look at last-minute cruise deals in that section, you can often find various cabins, and I get oftentimes balcony cabins, where the solo supplement, right, you're often paying as a solo for double occupancy. That supplement often is either dramatically lowered or not there at all when I look through the last minute deals. They have reduced the price so much usually in that category. Of course, it depends on the time of the year and where you're sailing. It's not always, but it is one of those things I have found more and more, that if I go to last minute deals and I can make that work for myself, oftentimes I can find a really great deal where it's not going to break the bank. Now let's talk about why some people don't love Princess cruises. I would say the slower pace thing is a main reason why. If you're under 40 and want late night dancing, a club, water slides, or a buzzing casino until 2 a.m., Princess might feel like the cruise version of watching paint dry to you. I'm not sure, but I think it might. It is relaxing. Sometimes maybe it's too relaxing for high energy travelers. I have heard friends of mine who I've encouraged to go experience Princess. You know, they really are the partiers. They really are the revelers of the night. and Princess is not their jam at all. That's fine. I have always been an 80-year-old at heart and love my peace and love my tranquility, and I love the vibe that Princess offers me. I would just say, if you are looking to rock out well into the night, that's not to say that they don't have things going on until 11 and sometimes midnight on many ships. They certainly do. They're not very well attended, though. It is a much older atmosphere, and for that, people tend to go to bed a little earlier. Now, the other thing I would say as to why maybe some people don't love Princess cruises probably is around that pricing factor. It can be higher a lot of the times. Princess often charges more than Carnival or MSC, for example. And though you do get what you pay for, I want to make sure that's clear, the value proposition can feel a lot thinner if you're not using all the amenities or perks included in their, say, Princess Plus pricing. So you can decide to kick things up a notch with Princess Plus or Princess Premier, which is your add-ons where, it'll cover everything like your drink packages, some specialty dining, your Wi-Fi, your gratuities, that sort of a thing. So a lot of people tend to go that direction, and it will cost you, right? It'll cost you a lot more because you go that direction, you want to do all the add-ons, whereas if you just set sail with the basic cruise fare, you will save a lot of money that way. However, it is always substantially higher than, say, your Carnival or your MSC. Again, I go back to the idea, check the last minute cruise deals on their website. If you have flexibility with your schedule, those last minute cruise deals can save you a ton. However, traditionally, prices can be higher because it is a premium brand that ends up requiring that. And I would say, solo travelers, take note if you happen to be solo, whether you're cruising with a journal or just your inner thoughts. The solocruise.com has real deal tips, insights to help you match your next sailing with your solo cruise personality, from introvert retreats to, yes, I will dance with the crew at 11 p.m. vibes. You can check that all out at thesolocruise.com. And for my adventure on a recent Princess Cruise Line itinerary, check out the video on the right. And for more Princess tips, check out the video on the left. We'll see you next time on The Solo Cruiser.